Hi, it's Elaine from Penguin Place. It is Friday, around 5 o'clock, and just checking in. I have finished a few more things, and I only have 2 items left on my June goals. I need to make my Aleosaurus, the dinosaur that's based on the picture that my granddaughter drew for me, and my sugar glider for the Amy Book Challenge, where I make a pattern that I've never made before. So only those 2 things. So that means that I finished up the sachet use up challenge. When I was moving yarn around, I found 2 skeins of sachet yarn, stuff that you use to make those ruffled scarves that aren't a thing anymore. So I made a little pink bear with a sachet ruffled skirt. The pattern for the bear is from 1 and 2 Company. It's Patches the Bear. It was originally supposed to be made with bulky yarn for the body, and then the snout and the inner ear, and there's supposed to be a patch down here in the belly. We're all with worsted weight yarn, but since I did the whole thing with worsted weight, I had to make some adjustments on the snout and the inner ear. And then excuse me, dear, while I lift up your skirt a bit, I did 2 rows underneath where I just kept the sachet flat to the body. So 2 rows around. And then for the last row, I would go through like 5 of the little loops at the top of the sachet ribbon, gather them together, sew it down. Pull up 5 more, gather them together, go over a stitch and sew it down. So that took a while. And I was like, I still have, that took very little of the skein. I still have over a skein and a half left to go. I could probably make 10 more bears like this with what was left over, but I did not enjoy making this skirt, so I took the coward's way out. I got a size M crochet hook, and I made a basket with the rest of that skein. Then I had another skein, so I made another basket. Maybe this was the first basket. This one looks a little smaller. My goal is to make 1 scrubby per day. This is with that new stitch, soak, and scrub yarn. So I'm hoping to make 1 a day and have a nice basket full for my craft show next month. Okay, finish that. I moved on to my next item on my June list. It was to make this brushed bunny by the spotlight designer for Amigurumi Wars this month. I think the name is Krauka, and the majority of her patterns are paid patterns, but I'm so far in the red with my spreadsheets, paying for fall craft shows and all this, and sales not going all that well. Didn't want to buy any more patterns. She did have 1 free pattern for a bunny where you brush the bunny to get it nice and fuzzy. Oops. So there's my brushed bunny. I did add, like I added the nose. Her bunny didn't have a nose, so I embroidered that on. Thought it would make it look a little bit more bunny-ish. Okay, I moved on to the next thing. I had 2 cakes, maybe yay big around, of boucle yarn left from when I made an anemone hat last month. So figured, okay, let's see if I have enough to make a gecko. No, changed my mind. A dragon. I looked out to see, that's not a gecko. I had exactly enough to finish this guy. I think I had about a yard and a half left over. So that has been wound onto my scrappy ball for the next time I make a Mr. Ugly doll. So, yay, all this progress. One other item of progress. Way back at the beginning of the month, I did my Crazy Critter Challenge where I made a purple chicken with yellow dreads. Well, I put in my blog post about my goals that I had finished it, but I hadn't gotten a picture yet. And I put up a Ravelry project for it, and then I realized I never got a picture of that. So for the last couple of days, I've been looking and searching through bins and boxes and closets and trying to find that chicken. That chicken was hiding on me. Well, last night I found the chicken. Chicken got his time under the lights and has been added to the blog post. I don't know if I added the picture on Ravelry yet. I'll have to check on that, make sure that's done too. So now I have a weekend ahead of me. I probably should get some chores done around the house. I have not taken my recycling to the recycling center for quite some time. It's sort of taking over the garage. And now that the hatch on my car is fixed, I can do that. I think there were 2 pistons that raise up the hatch on my car. I think one of them had been broken for a long time because my husband fixed it Monday night, Tuesday, and the next day I went to put something in the back and whoosh, that thing went up so fast. It almost took my hand with it. And I'm like, oh, I don't remember it opening that well before. I always had to put a little effort into opening it. So I think that I was working with only 1 piston for quite some time, and now with 2 pistons actually working, that thing just pops open like crazy. So yay, my car is fixed. So I can load it up with plastics and glass and cans and cardboard and take a trip to the dumps. But the last 2 things, I'm going to work on that sugar glider and the Aleosaurus. As soon as I go out to my chair, I'm going to pull yarns and the colors that I need and jump right into those. So by Monday, I could have all of my June projects finished. So then if I do that, my next step would be to work on, to make another one of my happy huggy cats, the pattern that I just made a little while ago. I thought I brought him back. I don't see him anywhere around here. He must still be out in the living room. I have the pattern edited and reprinted, so I want to go through and make one myself just to make sure I've got everything right, and then I would get some testers to test it before I publish it. So that would be the next step, and just little bits and pieces, making little stuff to fill bins, since I'm making so many of these little baskets. You know, I have a basket of scrubbies and a basket of flip octopus and a basket of leggy frogs and a basket of mushrooms. Little stuff. Little stuff is fun. So those are my plans for the weekend. My husband is working the sound booth for a wedding, so he will be gone for a few hours on Saturday. I have the house all to myself. I could just make a big mess with my yarn. Like if I needed to do any sorting where I was going to like bring tons of stuff out and just dump it out and sort, I could do that. But I don't think I have any projects like that on the edge. Well, I could. I could get my inventory all sorted out. But do I want to do that? Do I want to work on getting stuff sorted into boxes, or do I want to work on new projects? I think new projects are going to win. So I'm going to go play with yarn. I'm not wearing my shirt like hand me my coffee, hand me my crochet, and slowly back away. I have my coffee. Iced coffee. Trying to clear out some room in the fridge. I have my shirt that says things I do in my spare time. I research crochet patterns. I crochet. I buy yarn. I talk about yarn. I watch TV shows or YouTube shows about yarn. And I rearrange my yarn. Ta-da! This is my favorite shirt. So, you take my favorite shirt and my coffee and head out to the living room and crochet. So, bye-bye. See you later.